We're in Sweden. It's round 3 of the Rotax Max Euro Challenge, and we're on the grid for the final of the DD2 class, where Britain's Patrick Pearce is on pole, having won the pre-final. Sharing the front row is Matthias de Tige from Belgium, the current championship leader. Finland's Mika Laiho qualified third, but just a few minutes before the karts gridded up, he was forced to pull out with an incorrectly mounted tyre. This promotes Sweden's Kevin Ludi to third and Belgium's Zenderuva to fourth. And completing the top 5 qualifiers is Tom Delisson from the Netherlands. Within the race, there's also a separate Masters class for drivers aged 32 and above. French driver Kristianstad won the category in the pre-final and is the only Masters driver to qualify in the top 10. Over 140 drivers from nearly 30 countries have come to the ASUM ring in the far south of Sweden for this international event. All the karts are powered by 125cc Rotax Max engines, and this DD2 class is for the 2-speed version. There's a rolling start to look forward to, but first the officials must be satisfied that the karts are correctly lined up. This time the formation looks good and the race is given the green light. A great start from pole sitter Pearce. The others are caught off guard. Zenderuva tried to get past Matthias de Tige. The two Belgians side by side into turn 1, but de Tige kept the place. Deruva slots into third. He has though picked up 1 place because he's ahead of the Swede, Kevin Ludi. Then in 5th place it's Maximilian Fleischmann, the German driver, in kart 612. And now we've got Ludi driving the Birrell kart with the red body work, snapping at the heels of Zenderuva. A big look up the inside, but the gap is squeezed shut by Deruva as they fight wheel to wheel on this damp circuit. They head for the hairpin. Still Deruva can't shake off the Swede, but now as they accelerate out of the turn, Ludi seems to have better grip, better traction, and he drives around the outside of Deruva to reclaim 3rd place. Just behind them, Fleischmann remains 5th. Then it's Harry Drysdale from Great Britain in 6th. His compatriot Lucas Orok is 7th. And then Fleischmann runs wide, and it looks like he's about to lose a couple of places. There's 643 Tom Delisson, who slipped from 5th to 8th. And then he gets bumped out of the way by Kristianstad, the leading Masters class driver. Well, we had plenty of overtaking during the first few laps of the pre-final, and it's been pretty much the same at the start of this race. There's also an element of the drivers getting used to these newly damp conditions at varying rates. After a dry build-up, it only started to rain just before the karts lined up for the final. Here's another squabble just on the fringes of the top 10, and I think that was the Estonian Fred Alexar driving the 627 kart with the black nose cone, losing a couple of places. In front of them, Tom Delisson has just grabbed back 8th place from Kristianstad. Behind them, some finger pointing from 614. That's Dennis Lederfoged from Denmark. He's telling Harold Skarkaklis with the green helmet to stop fighting. Follow me, he's saying, and we'll try and catch the group ahead. Behind them, it was indeed Fred Alexar in the grey race suit who got pushed back a couple of places to 12th. Meanwhile, the two leaders make their way onto the start of lap 3. It's still pre-final winner and pole sitter Patrick Pearce with his nose in front. Staying with him though is Matthias de Tige, and he's now closer than ever as the championship leader starts to apply some real pressure. He's managed to force Pearce into a mistake as the British driver runs wide, and we've got a change of leader as the Belgian almost glides through into 1st place. There wasn't much to choose between this pair in the pre-final. Pearce won, but only by 7/10 of a second. De Tige will be desperate to win this, having finished 2nd in both of the championship finals so far this year. Kevin Ludi remains 3rd, and Zenderuva has now got Harry Drysdale and Lucas Orok to deal with. Here it is, the battle for 4th place, and Orok is the man on the move here as he threads his cosmic chassis into the narrowest of gaps, moving past Drysdale. A really good move, and he's into 5th place now, having started 10th on the grid. Back to the battle for 10th place. There's 624 Harold Skarkaklis, the Latvian who enjoyed a sterling drive in the pre-final at Genk, the first round of the championship, where he came from the back of the grid to finish 4th. And he's starting to move up the order here in Sweden. Here he goes with a move on Dennis Lederfoged for a place inside the top 10. Behind them, Fred Alexar, he's having a go at getting past 620 Florent Lambert for 12th place, and he overtakes at the hairpin. The 4 of them bunch up, a short blast on the throttle before braking for the next left-hander, and bang! That was Lederfoged using Skarkaklis as a brake. The Estonian shoved wide, he'll drop 2 places as a result. And that was a bit naughty from Dennis Lederfoged. In his defence, there was some contact as Skarkaklis went past him in the earlier move, but that was almost certainly a deliberate push from the Dane. And now it's probably just as well that they've got the 620 car of Florent Lambert between them to break up the fight and maybe let things calm down for a corner or two. Lambert, another of the British drivers, he's doing pretty well here. He's risen from 21st on the grid, and now he puts a move on Lederfoged to go 10th. He's also now running 2nd in the Masters class behind Kristianstad. And so Lederfoged and Skarkaklis are back together straight away. Skarkaklis makes a move, and I'm pretty sure the pair of them made contact for a 3rd time. Lederfoged pushed wide, Fred Alexar gets past him, and then you've got 617 Martin Gatz and 618 Thomas Smith running wheel to wheel just behind. There's just about room for two, and Smith with the white helmet is the one who picks up a place. Third in the championship before this weekend. He needs to come back from a poor result in the pre-final. A couple of seconds in front of that battle is this fight for 7th place. 6-1-2, Max Fleischmann leads this group of 4 with Tom Dearlison, Florent Lambert, and now Harold Garcaklis on his tail. Dearlison gets attacked from Lambert, he's sent offline, and now a two-pronged attack from Garcaklis and Lambert. Garcaklis to the inside, pushes Dearlison to the edge of the circuit, and Lambert gets past the pair of them. But Dearlison was the latest victim of a nudge from behind, and in these damp, greasy conditions, it's all it takes to send you slipping and sliding through the next corner. Either way, it's another position gain for Florent Lambert in the 620 kart. They all lap the 621 kart of Sascha Pio-Heider. And now that's Max Fleischmann running wide on the exit. A mistake from the German, and guess who's there to benefit? That's right, Florent Lambert, the British driver, on a roll here. And now Fleischmann loses another place at the very next corner as Garcaklis comes by. The rain's getting heavier now, and that's 658, Kevin Kemling from Germany getting past Diego Ribeiro, the Portuguese driver, and ahead of them both in kart 625 is Igor Mukin, who is third in class within the Masters category. Mukin is the only Russian driver in the field, and he looks like he's really struggling with understeer now as the conditions worsen, and sure enough, he can't turn into the corner quick enough to block Kemling. The German comes through, he brings Ribeiro with him, and significantly that's also a change for third place in the Masters class. But immediately the place changes hands once again as Mukin fights back. Almost everywhere you look, all the way down the order, there are significant battles going on in this, the penultimate round of the championship. Now how's Thomas Smith getting on? The Danish driver in kart 618 was third in the points coming into this event, but he could only manage 13th place in the pre-final. He's climbed into the top 10, but he's not exactly flying up the order. His next target is Tom Dearlison in the 643 kart, and I think he's just about got his foot in the door. Yep, Smith comes through to pick up the place. And there's an opportunity to salvage something here, given that Mika Leho, second in the championship, failed to start this race. Working their way through the traffic are 608, Zenderuva with that distinctive turquoise helmet, and 620, the flying Florent Lambert, who is now just a couple of places away from the podium, having started the race back on the 11th row of the grid. It's been a great effort, but he spins! Too much speed through the corner. Lambert quickly gets going again, but not before Garcaklis and Adams come past to demote him back out of the top 6. And of course, back to second in the Masters class. Now who's this running off the road? It's 646, Dennis Kroos, and with a wheel off, that is the kart of Kevin Ludi, 607, the driver who was running in second place. Clearly some kind of failure, and that's devastating for the Swede, who was on course for his first podium of the year. So they're suddenly dropping like flies in the autumn. But there's no respite for Zenderuva. One problem has been replaced by another. Having shaken off the spinning Florent Lambert, he's now under attack from Harold Garcaklis, and the Latvian wastes no time in getting down to business. He takes third place away from Deruva, and although I'm sure it wasn't, he actually made that look pretty easy. Behind them, we've now got a three-way battle for 5th place with 652, Harry Drysdale, ahead of Christoph Adams and Florent Lambert, the latter having had that spin a short while ago. Now his priority has to be getting past Adams for the lead of the Masters class, both of them on course for their best results of the season by quite some margin. Now here's the aforementioned Adams having a big go at Drysdale, and he pulls it off. Up to 5th he comes. Lambert also pounces on the exit. Up ahead, someone going very wide, and it's Zenderuva, the driver, battling for a podium. He's gone on the grass, he'll lose at least 3 places, and this now means that we have 2 senior drivers running 4th and 5th. Not bad for a couple of old boys. And there's a change between them. Lambert dives past Adams, and incredibly, having had his spin just a couple of minutes ago, Lambert is now back up to 4th place, which is where he was before the error. Has he got time to catch Garcaklis in 3rd? Barring something truly spectacular, he's certainly not going to catch this man. Having got the lead on lap 3, Matthias de Tige is now more than 8 seconds clear. Lucas Orrock is second, having come from 10th on the grid. And then it's Harold Garcaklis rounding out the top 3. And it's now Matthias de Tige who comes through to take the checkered flag and his first grand final victory of the year. So it's de Tige, Orrock and Garcaklis who savour the moment on the podium. Pre-final winner Patrick Pearce finally ended up 4th, with Florent Lambert 5th, ending the race as the Masters class winner. Christoph Adams is 2nd in the category, and Tamsin Germain is 3rd. The championship will next head to Salbris in France for the 4th and final round of the Rotax Max Euro Challenge. The race for the title is very much alive, and it promises to be a spectacular end to the championship. Make sure you join us for what promises to be an explosive end to the season.